What is up, party people? It has been a minute. It's been a little bit of time since I have gone live on the YouTubes. That's for sure. I mean, there's no excuse. There's no like legitimate crazy reason why besides been super busy, which is always my reason. And yeah, besides that, I've just been busy, dude. Been busy and traveling, which I'm taking a break from. Yeah. Taking a break from travel. I have to. I just can't do it anymore, man. I just can't do it anymore. Traveling kicks your ass, POTS or not. Chronic illness or not. And look at this freaking tan line that I have on my forehead. It's because I went to a sunny state. I went to a sunny state, California, this past weekend. And now I'm paying the consequences. So I just wanted to hop on live and say what's up. And see what's up with you party people. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I have been on. It's been a minute since I have done a live. Wow, this is pretty good. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been on live, so I needed to hop on live to say what's up to y'all. And you know, I have been I don't know how to say it. My POTS, I've been paying more and more attention to my health and how I'm feeling and stuff. And one thing that I'm kind of noticing recently in my chronic illness journey is dude, I've been getting hurt a lot lately. I've been having like, I don't want to say chronic pain or chronic injury because that's definitely not what it is. But my propensity towards injury has been like really high, and I'm starting to correlate it with quite a few things actually. And so I'm excited to like, I'm not excited that I have to deal with this right now. But I'm excited about kind of the journey that I'm about to go on, health wise, because I feel like I'm starting over again. And that requires me to be a critical thinker and to be thinking and to work on stuff. And I enjoy that. So let me take you guys through my my little story. I'm actually going to change chronic illness dilemma. That's what we're going to label this. let me clue you guys in on kind of what I have been dealing with as of late. These past 3 years of my life have been ridiculously stressful. I opened up a gym 2 years ago. So I'm going to take you guys down the timeline to kind of give you guys the idea of what the end goal is and what I think is happening with me. The past 3 years of my life have been so stressful. I opened a gym, had 2 really unfortunate and bad business partners. We just didn't get along. Well, one of them was my best friend. He screwed me over big time after only like 6 months in business together. The other guy, we just didn't see eye to eye, blah, blah. I ended up closing up shop after like, I think a year and a half, something like that. Because I was the sole owner technically, of the whole thing. And so I had to kick the other guy out and all, whatever, whole drama, right? That happens. I got two pretty major neck injuries during that time. That sucked. Um, I have always dealt with some sort of like mental illness type stuff, right? Throughout my entire life, mostly like OCD. But I look at it for me as like OCD and anxiety are like the two things that I've mostly dealt with. But I look at those two things almost like superpowers a little bit. I know that that sounds kind of off and weird, but I look at them almost as superpowers because the anxiety is like the anxiety of like, I need to, like, it fuels me, right? Like it fuels me. Like I need to get stuff done. I'm not where I need to be. Like so many things are overwhelming me. So what do I do if I'm overwhelmed? I have to come up with solutions. So yeah, it's not like generalized anxiety, I guess. It's just like anxiety, right? I used to deal with like a whole, I don't know, like other stuff like depression and stuff when I was a kid, ADHD. We can go back and forth on whether that's a superpower or not. But more recently, what I've been dealing with is, yeah, kind of a resurgence of like, you know, OCD stuff, I guess, and just like ruminating, right? And then the other thing has been I've been getting injured. Like my body has just been in a disease state, it feels like. I'm fatigued a lot, which is like interesting because my output is still very high. Um, I attribute that to mindset. I don't let fatigue run my life. So my output is still very high, but I've been noticing that I'm fatigued. Like it's harder to get up in the mornings. It's like, or it has been hard to get up in the mornings for like a long time, for like a year, right? It's been, but I, and and again, like I've gone through a lot of emotional stress. I've gone through a lot of like financial and work stress type stuff this past year. Which is, I have such a skewed perspective on this stuff, guys, because I also believe that stuff to be good. Like I don't look at a lot of this stuff as like good or bad. It just is, and I think that that's one thing that kind of separates me from a lot of people in a lot of things that I do in life, like in my work life or my relationship life, like blah, blah, blah. I don't look at a lot of things as like good or bad. I just look at them as they are. They exist and just be like, so what do I do about it? And it fuels me. So the thing that has been bothering me the most has been, I'm just getting injured all the time. Like, just like I have aches and pains everywhere. I'm tired. And it's just like annoying. It's an annoyance, right? I have structured now my workout schedule a lot different. This reminds me, hold on one second, guys. I gotta order some supplements real quick. I forgot that I needed to do this. So give me 1 second. So I have talked to my coach. I'm not doing the CrossFit qualifier anymore. I don't know if I had announced that I was doing that online. Actually, I don't remember whatsoever. But I think that, well, yeah, I did in a video for sure. I don't know about on live. I announced that I was going to do a CrossFit qualifier again so that I could compete in this big competition. And something I had to come to terms with is like my body just doesn't feel good. Like I can perform really well. I perform very well. But it doesn't feel good doing it. And so the logical conclusion that I came to, the logical conclusion that I came to was that, hey, if you're not feeling good, you shouldn't be trying to have this like huge high output, right? And that's just, it was a really, really difficult thing for me to come to terms with. Was you probably shouldn't do this, right? Although you'll probably exceed your expectations. You will probably, oh my gosh, dude, of course. Uh, you will probably exceed your expectations. You will probably qualify. You probably should not do this. And it's because like my priorities are so much different now, right? Last year, a year and a half ago, my priorities were in a spot where I wanted to be a pro, where I wanted to work out at the highest level. Um, and that's just not my reality anymore, at least not right now. I took time off because I injured my neck really bad, right? Like I literally had nerve damage, like a root nerve injury. I couldn't lift a 25-pound kettlebell overhead because my arm would not work. It did not have the strength to do it due to the nerve impact. And so I had to reassess and, I had to take a step back, rebuild strength. I had to make sure I did PT and blah, blah. I told myself I'd take a year off from competing so that I could like allow myself the time to be healthy. And throughout that time, I really realized that my priorities have changed a lot. They've changed immensely. My priorities now are business, being healthy, and being able to be a really good father and partner and just honestly business owner, content creator, all this stuff, right? Those are my main priorities and those are the things that I want to do. And competition is just not that. And so I had to weigh out the pros and cons of are the sacrifices that I have to make in order to achieve this goal of the CrossFit qualifier, are they worth the desired outcome? And the desired outcome would be to qualify. And the sacrifices that I would make are, to be honest with you, health, time, finances, time with my kids, things of that nature. And the sacrifices just didn't outweigh the desired outcome. It wasn't suited for the desired outcome. I realized that I am not willing to sacrifice and do all of this stuff in order to get this and have a clear conscience about it. And so taking a step back again, I had to look at what are the things that are happening, that are making me feel this way. And a lot of it came down to the way that I feel. I always have some sort of nagging injury. Like I have golfer's elbow. I think that's what they call it. My neck, I feel like hasn't completely healed, but it's healed like 98%. My pec, I just like really strained my pec. I have 2 torn MCLs. Like each knee has a torn MCL. I have so many things going on. And in a season in my life, there was a season in my life where I was willing to go through the pain and the struggle. Then I started to realize this dysfunction in my body, the dysfunction that I have, is not normal. Not even for people competing at the highest level. It's not that normal. Like there are definitely the exceptions to the rule that have a nagging injury, but not 5, not 5 nagging injuries. So, I have restructured things again. And this is something that I preach to a lot of my POTS clients is when you start noticing things, even if they weren't normal before, or they are normal, in terms of whatever your normal is. But if you start to see that there's dysfunction in what you're doing, again, you need to take a step back and reassess. Like you need to take the time to take a step back and reassess and restructure. And so something that I did was, sorry guys, was I decided that what I need to do personally is take a step back with training and look at the big picture. So I talked to my coach, because I have a coach as well, and we talked about me now switching a little bit more to endurance sport because I am a person with high competitive nature. I have a very high competitive nature. So I'm going to be switching over to mountain bike racing, hopefully in April, with the goal of someday doing CrossFit competitively again. But right now I just need to take a break. So we're doing competitive mountain biking, spending a lot of time on bikes, restructuring my workout weeks to do biking, 2 to 3 days of bodybuilding, and then 3 to 4 sessions of like your traditional CrossFit and weightlifting type stuff. So I know that sounds like a lot. It's not a lot. It's the structure of it is way, way, way different than what you would think. So it sounds like a lot, but it's really going to be plugged into like maybe 5 days of training, overall training. and yeah, so I noticed that. And then some things that I'm doing too are I'm trying to figure out what the right lifestyle supplementation choices I need to make are for me. And some things that I can recall in the past that that I know worked very well for me. Um, when I was feeling my best, the sharpest, mentally, physically, emotionally, I was very lean. I was like 100 and I'm not advocating for this. I was like 175 pounds soaking wet, shredded, just like ripped, right? And something that I've really noticed was I don't think that it was the leanness that made me feel that way. I think what it was that I was in ketosis. And I tell people this all the time. I was like, I think I was in ketosis, and that was the reason that like I had like no inflammation in my body. My brain worked really well. Like I was sharp. I like had no emotional up and downs, like even like normal emotional up and downs. I was very even keeled, like very, whatever. um, but what's interesting about that is is that even with all the carbs that I was eating throughout the day, I think I was in ketosis because my activity level was so freaking high. I was walking on average 20 to 25,000 steps per day. Plus I was training twice a day, CrossFit and weightlifting. Um, and that's part of the reason why I think that I was still in ketosis, being even when I was eating like 300 plus grams of carbs a day. I was having like Culver's ice cream every single night. But I think it's because like how high my activity level was, and I was playing with my kid, all this stuff, like just very active. And I think that there's something to that. And you guys can take this how you want with the POTS thing, but I've been doing more reading into like metabolic health and what it actually means, like energy metabolism, things like that. And I think a big piece of the puzzle that a lot of us are missing, and I've talked about this before, like actually quite a bit, is like not energy metabolism, but mitochondrial health, right? And it's such a broad statement to make mitochondrial health. But I think that a lot of people aren't really taking the necessary, I guess, inputs and downloads for what that means, to their okay, sorry guys, I just got like a oh my gosh, I have to check this. Like I don't think that people are really keeping track of what the heck? Of all the things in their life that like help them feel better or have helped them feel better, their past experiences, or like taking mental note or even real notes of like what foods actually make me feel like shit, or if I feel like this little symptom, it must not be that big of a deal because it's a little symptom, but over time that actually can build to a bigger problem. um and so I've really been trying to like figure this out. And so one thing that um there's this guy, Chris Master John, he's a PhD, and he posted something about sulfur and sulfur metabolism in the body. And so I'm a part of his subscription. So I went and I read his thing, and I've been listening to his podcasts. And some like when I worked with Dr. Tyler Pansner, he said that that I have a gene mutation that makes it difficult to process sulfur. um, and what does sulfur do to the body? A lot. It does a lot of things. And something that's very prominent in my diet is dairy, high sulfur. Chicken sausage, which I think is pretty high sulfur. And and so you know so I've been looking at ways of like mitigating these things, because high sulfur in the body can cause injury. It can cause a lot of mental health dysfunctions or issues. And so now I'm on the up and up to figuring that out, because I really want to get this health shit in check. And I know that, like, I preach it all the time. Like, if you're serious about wanting something, if you really want something, you're going to do whatever it takes possible in order to get there, right? And that's what I did with getting better from POTS initially. And now I have this other issue, because I do have a chronic illness story. Like, through my whole life, I have a chronic illness story, right? Um, I used to get hives when I was a kid. I used to get rashes. I like suffered with, mental health dysfunction, like problems like that. My whole family suffers with mental health, like anxiety, depression, things like that. And so I've suffered with all these things throughout my life, and I've gotten better. And then I've had dips, and I've gotten better, and all these things. And like now I'm like dealing with, like, my biggest problem now is just aches and pains, and always feeling like I'm injured, and like really like feel literally like I'm on the verge, like I can feel in my body I'm like close to getting seriously injured again. And so that's why I've made the necessary adjustments. And right now, like, I'm really taking the time to focus on, okay, how do I not get injured? What are the issues? What are the underlying problems? And let's fix it. And again, like, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Like, it gives me something to focus on again, but at the same time, it's a bad thing because, like, I obviously don't want to get injured, right? So yeah. And what I've come down to the conclusion of is the sulfur thing. And so a couple of things that I'm doing is I'm going to be supplementing with ketones, to see how that works for me, AKG. There's also this other ketone supplement. It's just called Ketone IQ, but AKG is alpha ketoglutarate, I think, right? Let's AKG supplement. Yeah, alpha ketoglutarate. And basically it's just, I'll just read it. Alpha ketoglutarate is a natural compound that works in many pathways in the body, including making muscle and healing wounds. It's also used as medicine. Alpha ketoglutarate seems to help the body rebuild muscle and reduce muscle loss after surgery and trauma. It might also have anti-aging effects. So there's a lot of different, like, things to AKG. It seems that it's safe for use up to like 3 years every single day, depending on your dose. There's a lot of things that come down to like energy metabolism with that. It's neuroprotective. Like, there's a lot of different things. And so, but what I'm really interested in is the anti-inflammation effects that it has, the anti-inflammation effects that this supplement has. Apparently, I read part of a research journal yesterday on AKG just because I like got really entrenched in it. And what's interesting is that this guy, he owns Raw Nutrition. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Raw Nutrition. What's his name? Because I'm getting engulfed in like endurance sport again. Matt Jansen. He's an ex-bodybuilder turned endurance athlete now. And so he was taking AKG. I was like, AKG, what is that? And then it just so happened that Chris Master John's article on sulfur brought up AKG too. That same day that I was like, like watching Matt Jansen, I was like, oh, I'm going to look into this AKG supplement. So I looked into that. I looked into ketone supplementation, the implications of that. And then the other supplement is molybdenum. Let's see, what is it called? It's called Myozone, I think, is what the supplement's called. But I think it's Myozyme. But the active ingredient is molybdenum. 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 So that's the other supplement that I'll be taking, because what that does, it's a detoxification supplement, and it helps like clear sulfur from the body, I guess. And so I've talked to Dr. Tyler Panzer about these things. Should I do this? Yeah, try the molybdenum. And then the ketone esters is the other thing that I'm going to be doing. So, and so the whole point of me like talking about this and bringing it up to you guys is to just show that, like, even at the stage that I'm in with my health journey, a lot of people, would think, or a lot of people think and would say that I'm very far along in terms of at least like POTS, right? The whole point why I'm bringing this up is just to show you that it's an ever evolving thing. And like, I noticed that in my health journey that like I have things that I need to work on still. And it's an ever evolving thing. And if you're a person that really is interested in like optimizing health and like wanting to be healthy long term, you're going to have ups and downs, right? And it can't like put you down, like you cannot get so down about it that it like paralyzes you and you don't take action. Yesterday, I got extremely down about it because I had this pec thing happen to me about a week and a half ago. About a week and a half ago. And so I let it rest, I let it chill, and it felt good. I talked to my coach about like my new schedule and all this stuff, and she's like, okay, we're gonna put maintenance stuff in there. And so I had ring muscle ups yesterday, and I had to do only 15 of them, right? Maintenance level of them, just so I keep that skill. And on my 11th rep is when like I felt like my pec like really, and I was like, gosh, dang it, dude. And so I got really down. But I gave myself 30 minutes to be down, and then I moved on because it's like, what is being down going to do about it? And this is something that I talk to a lot of like the, POTS people about is like, dude, it's okay to grieve and to mourn and stuff like that. But if that's all you're doing, if that all you're doing is just constantly being in a state of like, this sucks. Ugh, why is this happening to me? Quite frankly, if all you're going to do about it is just be a loser, right, and complain, like you don't even really deserve to be healthy. And I'm not saying that out of a place of like hate or malice or to be mean, but it's like, if you're only going to be negative about it and you're not going to take any sort of action because all you want to do is be negative about it, you don't even deserve to be healthy, because it's not a right to be healthy. It's not a right to be unhealthy. It's not a right to be healthy or unhealthy. What it is, it's a culmination of the actions that you take every single day. So yeah, if you're going to sit and mope in bed and not take any steps throughout the day or not do anything, to get closer to your goal, and just same way as it's not a right to be rich, it's not a right to be poor. It just is a culmination of the actions that you take every single day and the circumstances that you're in, right? If you're not willing to do anything in terms of like getting better, you don't deserve to be better. Why should you get better? You're not doing anything about it. So, and I take that with me in every stretch of life, right? So like right now I'm like, I have neglected my physical and I guess emotional health kind of. I don't, let's just stick to physical because I don't really like, I'm okay. You know what I mean? Like nothing. I like my dog passed away and I've been like a little bit more sad since then, but that's not, my physical, I've been neglecting my physical health in terms of like, I have not really been on the back burner with things. I've been working out really hard often and ignoring all these aches and pains, not going to PT, all this stuff. So I don't deserve to have good physical health. I haven't done the necessary steps to have good physical health. So now I'm going to do what, it takes. And, while I'm doing what it takes, then I'm going to deserve to have good physical health. But yeah, man, a lot of people have popped in here and ain't none of y'all said anything. So yeah. That's been my journey the past few days. The past few weeks actually. So other than that, you guys, yeah, my updates are I'm going to be trying to do a 100-mile bike race in April. A 100-mile mountain bike race in April in Minnesota. It's called the Minnesota 99er. And then that is a qualifying race for the Leadville 100, which is a 100-mile race in Colorado at elevation. So that's the goal. And that's the goal based on the type of impact that will have on my body, which shouldn't be that much. I mean, not that, doing that much volume of any type of exercise is, not difficult or is difficult. But I think that that's the thing that's going to have the least amount of impact in terms of like injury risk on my body. And then going to do some more bodybuilding type stuff for the time being. And then also CrossFit like three times a week, something like that, just to maintain that level of fitness. I've really noticed something with sports and CrossFit and all these things in my life. A lot of it has been very ego driven. I've wanted to compete in CrossFit at the highest level for ego purposes, and not necessarily for my own purposes, right? Like not for my own fulfillment and things of that nature. And it's something that I've really had to come to terms with. And yeah, so like preventing myself from getting injured simply due to the fact that I just want something to show off to people has been like kind of difficult, to be real. It's been difficult to like come to that realization, have that conversation with myself. I think that I've mentioned quite a few times on this channel that there's been a few times in my life where I've had to like have one of those like really corny conversations with myself in the mirror and be like, you are not, achieving your goals. You're not doing the things that you said you do. Like, like those conversations that really suck to have with yourself. Like you just basically tell yourself that you suck. There's been a couple times where I've had those in life. And recently I just kind of had that conversation with myself again, to be totally honest. Like, you've gotten complacent. What's happening? Like you're doing things for egoic purposes and for validation from other people, which is something that I typically don't do, but like I realized that it was something like that was not like validation, like I can't like what I look like and stuff like that, but doing CrossFit, like wanting to do CrossFit at a really high level, not for my own sake, but literally for the validation from other people, has been where that has been driven from, mostly, it seems like. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that. And there's other things too, like you start making a certain amount of money in life sometimes and you get complacent. And you start like I have this podcast and then I have this channel, right? And the podcast has always been like my biggest goal for the things that I want to do. In order of importance, the podcast is the important thing. But I saw this channel like skyrocketing, right? Showing that it was going to get to 1,000 subs. And I was like, damn, 1,000 subs. I just need to hustle on this channel and make sure that I can get to 1,000 subs. And so my other channel took a back seat. The one that I care about the most took a back seat so that I could fill that temporary void of getting 1,000 subscribers here. And don't get me wrong, I love this channel and I love the community and the people that, watch the videos, comment and pop on and stuff. But yeah, all to say that it was a part of the conversation that I had with myself recently, like get your priorities straight again. So yeah, priorities needed to be straightened out. And that's part of the reason why I haven't been going live here for a while. And why I haven't posted a video in 11 days. And coming to terms with the fact that like I just can't do it all. Like I need help. I just can't do it all. It's just that simple. When you have to put high effort in a lot of places, like you guys gotta, to bring it to pots, right? It's like a lot of people with pots, like I understand that people need to have a job, but then there's like, people with pots like want to get better, right? This is the desired outcome, is to get better. But then they also want to hang out with friends as much as possible. And then they also want to be able to like drink, and they also want to be able to eat whatever they want. And they also want to be able to do all the things that they want to do, right? And it's like you just can't do it all and get the desired outcome that you want, which would be health. And sometimes everything else needs to be put on the back burner in order for you to achieve the goal. What is that called? That's called sacrifice. And it is required of anyone that wants to be a high performer or be super healthy, even. So, yeah, that's my take on that stuff. This channel has just been growing. Growing and growing and growing. I'm not 100% sure why. I think this channel is at like 1139 subs, 1139 subs, which is wild. Yeah. 1139 will probably hit like 150 by next week, or 1150. It'll probably go up again. Like the trajectory of this channel is like it just keeps growing, which is dope. It's dope. But I don't have the ability to produce as much content on here anymore, which is sad. So I'm going to open up the floor to questions. I'm going to open up the floor to you guys to talk. I've done my part now. And for those of you wondering, I've been getting quite a bit of emails lately, actually. Yes, I do still coach. I am still coaching POTS people. I actually have quite a bit of POTS people. I think I'm going to cap it after 3 more. Yeah. 3 more people, and I think I'm good. I think that'll be it. See, right now I'm looking at looking at possible mountain bike races up to what's it called? up to the race that I want to be doing. Because the tough part is going to be like getting on the bike during winter. I did my first long bike today, which I did not do on a mountain bike. I did it on a C2 bike, actually, because I need to still go get a mountain bike. But you don't need to necessarily be on a road bike or a mountain bike in order to start training for that stuff. Right now, I just need to get some miles in, get some volume, and get my legs prepared for this type of thing. I used to mountain bike. I have a history of it. I used to mountain bike quite a bit, mostly cross country, nothing like crazy. I did cross country riding a lot. So yeah, I need to, I need to really hone it in. Dude, you guys really liked the streams with Mick. When Mick would pop on and we'd do those streams. Mick, where are you, dude? I miss you. He's been having a lot going on. Good stuff. He's been having a lot of good stuff going on, which is good. Good for him. No shot. Somebody liked the live. If you guys are still on here watching, I don't know why you don't like the live. Why don't you just like it? Help support a brother. You guys know one thing that I've noticed a lot about YouTube is titles just matter, dude. Titles just matter. And it's crazy because I don't like to play that game. I don't like to play the game of like clickbait and all that stuff because it seems super corny to me, you know. But if you want to be good at the game, you got to play the game, right? Stand up. My watch just told me to stand. Ooh, the legs. My legs are fried. Today I had to do, what was it? I had to do a 60-minute C2 bike. 60-minute C2 ride in a zone 1, actually. And then a 45 or 30 to 40 minute ruck. So a ruck is just like a weighted backpack walk. And I did that with a 45-pound plate in the bag. All right. Well, I think that's it for today, guys. Thanks for spending this time with me. Thanks for hanging out, chilling. It was good to be back. To be honest with you guys, I don't know how often I'm gonna come back on live. And I was on a daily schedule before when I was trying to get this channel to like go up and up and up. And you know, it's been better for my for my mental health to not go live all the time and read comments on the Pots channel and things of that nature. It's not that they bother me a whole bunch, but there was some of this stuff just like let me give you guys some advice real quick before I go. You are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with, and you are the sum of and you are heavily influenced by the content that you consume or the media that you consume as well. And so if you go online and you are reading like, audacious stuff and like you are consuming content that is just not good in nature, it's going to have an effect on your mental health. And I had gotten into a couple arguments with like commenters and people like, coming on live and stuff. And that's just not me. I'm just not that guy. And so I don't want to do that. And I think a big way to avoid that is by not participating as often because I'm also just not somebody that lets people play with me. So yeah, that's it. I don't know when. I'll probably go live again sometime this week or next, but yeah. Thanks so much for viewing. I have a couple of things in the works for this, to be honest with you guys, for this channel. Like I've said, I want to shift it more from like giving out Pots advice stuff to like showing you guys that you are resilient, you can be healthy, all this stuff. And so like my next thing that I am doing for sure is I'm doing a 10K run, and I'm going to vlog that entire thing. So you guys will see that. That's like 6 point whatever many miles. And that'll probably be, not the next video, but probably the second video after the next video that I post. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.